The bell rang for freedom until my two alien classmates locked the door and claimed me instead. The final bell and the locked gates. The final bell of Westridge Academy rang at 3:15 p.m. on a perfect June afternoon, and Maya Torres felt her heart soar. 4 years. 4 years of calculus tests, chemistry labs, awkward dances, and endless homework, and now, finally, freedom stretched before her like an open highway. She clutched her yearbook and sprinted down the main corridor with everyone else, the thunder of liberation echoing off tile floors. But as she approached the front entrance, two figures moved steadily toward her against the tide of escaping students. Kireen and Solara. The exchange students from Iceland had arrived freshman year and had always seemed slightly off. Beautiful, certainly, Kireen with angular features and hair like spun silver, Solara with those unsettling violet-grey eyes that seemed to see through walls. They moved with too much grace, spoke with voices that made the air vibrate strangely, and had skin that seemed to catch light differently than everyone else's. Maya had tutored them in English that first year, shared lunch with them countless times, even gone to junior prom in their group. But they'd always maintained a careful distance, never quite letting anyone truly close. Now they weren't maintaining distance at all. Kireen's hand found Maya's wrist, warm, gentle, but utterly immovable. Behind her, Solara raised one hand in an elegant gesture, and Maya heard something impossible. Every door in the building clicking locked simultaneously, a rippling cascade of metallic thunder that made her skin prickle. The hallway emptied in seconds. Teachers vanished into classrooms. Students flooded out the far exits. Within 30 seconds, the three of them stood alone in the sudden, heavy silence. "What?" Maya started, but Kireen shook her head. 4 years, Kireen said, her voice like wind singing through canyons. "We gave you 4 years to grow, to become who you were meant to be. The observation period is complete." Solara stepped closer, and the scent of ozone and something sweet, like night-blooming jasmine from another world, filled the air. "Among our people, Maya Torres, there is a custom older than your sun. When we find a resonant soul, we choose. And we keep." Maya's laugh came out shaky. "This is insane. You can't just." "We already have," Solara said softly, and there was such tenderness in those impossible eyes that Maya's protests died in her throat. "Come with us. Just for a conversation. We'll explain everything." Kireen gestured toward the old observatory tower, the one that had been locked since sophomore year. Its door swung open soundlessly. "Please," Kireen added, and that single word carried such longing that Maya found herself nodding before she decided to. They walked together toward the tower, and Maya felt the world shifting beneath her feet, the definition of freedom suddenly becoming very, very negotiable. The revelation under starlight. The observatory tower was supposed to be empty, forgotten. Instead, Maya found herself in a space that defied physics. The circular room had expanded, the domed ceiling now displaying not afternoon sky but a tapestry of stars she'd never seen before. Kireen released her wrist, and immediately Maya felt the absence of that warmth. "You're afraid," Kireen observed. "But not as much as you expected to be." It was true. Maya's heart raced, but not entirely from fear. "What are you?" Solara moved to the center of the room, and as she did, something shifted. The afternoon light filtering through cracks suddenly revealed what they'd been hiding, skin that held faint luminescence, like moonlight trapped beneath the surface. When Solara turned, her eyes reflected starlight that didn't exist in the room. "We are Aerithans," Solara said simply. "Travelers. Observers. And, occasionally, when we find something rare and precious, we become choosers." Kireen stepped closer to Maya, close enough that she could see the faint silver patterns that traced along Kireen's neck like constellation maps. "Our people don't fall in love the way humans do, sudden, chaotic, brief. We resonate. We attune. For 4 years, we've watched you, Maya Torres. Your kindness to the lonely freshman in the cafeteria. Your fierce defense of what's right. The way you cry at beautiful music. The way you laugh like you're surprised by joy." "We tried to resist," Solara added, her voice dropping to something achingly vulnerable. "We tried to maintain protocol, to simply observe and leave. But you became our frequency. The note our souls sing to." Maya's back pressed against the curved wall. This is crazy. People can't just claim people. That's not how. We're not claiming ownership, Kireen interrupted gently. We're asking for permission to love you in the only way we know how. Completely. Eternally. Without reservation. Solara approached from the other side, and Maya found herself flanked by these two impossible beings. Among our people, the choosing ceremony requires three things: patience, observation, and consent. We've given you patience, for years of waiting. We've completed observation, learning every detail that makes you who you are. Now we ask for consent. Kireen reached up slowly, telegraphing the movement, and when Maya didn't pull away, pressed their forehead together. The contact sent warmth cascading through Maya's body, not burning, but like sinking into perfect bathwater, like the first rays of spring sun, like every comfort she'd ever known condensed into a single touch. Through that touch, images flooded Maya's mind, Kireen watching her from across the library, memorizing the way she chewed her pencil when thinking. Solara's heart breaking when Maya cried over her grandmother's death. Both of them fighting their own people's laws to extend their stay, year after year, unable to leave. When Kireen pulled back, Maya's eyes were wet. You really, all this time? All this time, Solara confirmed. She produced something from the air itself, a crystal that hummed with inner light. This is a threshold key. Through it, we can show you our truth, our home, what we offer. But you must choose, Maya. Walk through with us, or walk away. We'll respect either answer. Solara pressed the crystal against the air, and reality split like a seam. Through it, Maya glimpsed something impossible, a room that floated in starlight, beautiful and terrifying and absolutely not of Earth. Kireen extended a hand. Freedom was ringing for everyone today. Let us show you a different kind. Maya looked at that hand, Solara's hopeful expression, the portal to the impossible. Every rational thought screamed to run. But her heart, that traitorous thing, was already reaching back. She took Kireen's hand. Show me, Maya whispered. Together, they stepped through. Through the shimmering portal. The transition felt like stepping through a waterfall of silk. Maya's stomach dropped, her vision kaleidoscoped, and then she was standing in a space that shouldn't exist. The sanctuary, that was the only word for it, floated in gentle defiance of gravity. The floor beneath her feet was solid but translucent, revealing drifting nebulae below. Soft furniture that seemed grown rather than built curved around the circular space. The walls, if they could be called walls, shimmered like soap bubbles, displaying galaxies that wheeled slowly past. It's beautiful, Maya breathed. It responds to emotion, Solara said, and as she spoke, the colors shifted, warm ambers and soft roses blooming across the surfaces. Right now, it's reflecting what we feel when we look at you. Kireen moved closer, and in this space, the last vestiges of their human disguise had fallen away. The luminescence in their skin pulsed gently, those silver constellation marks glowing faintly. No more hiding. This is who we truly are. Do we frighten you? Maya turned slowly, taking in both of them, Solara's violet-touched skin, Kireen's eyes that held depths of starlight. They were alien, yes. Impossible, certainly. But they were also the two people who had sat with her during her worst panic attack junior year, who had celebrated every small victory, who had looked at her like she was something precious for 4 long years. No, Maya said honestly. You don't frighten me. This situation is terrifying, but you never have been. Solara's expression crumbled with relief. She closed the distance between them, moving with that liquid grace, and cupped Maya's face with both hands. May I? She asked, voice barely a whisper. Maya nodded, and Solara kissed her. It wasn't like any kiss Maya had experienced. Solara's lips were warm but carried that same harmonic vibration she'd felt with Kireen's forehead touch, pleasure that resonated through her entire body, making her skin sing. She gasped against Solara's mouth, and felt Kireen press against her back, arms wrapping around her waist. We can show you more, Kireen murmured against Maya's ear, voice turned rough with want. How we love. How we worship. How we want to spend eternity learning every sound you make. Maya's knees weakened, and they guided her gently to the large cushioned surface that dominated the center of the room. Part bed, part nest, radiating comfort. She lay back, looking up at both of them, and felt no fear. Only anticipation curling hot in her belly. Solara knelt on one side, Kirene on the other, and the air shimmered with their unveiled power. Their clothing, those human disguises, dissolved into particles of light, revealing forms that were humanoid but perfected, skin marked with those glowing patterns that seemed to pulse with their heartbeats. "Tell us to stop," Kirene said seriously, even as her hand traced down Maya's arm, leaving trails of tingling warmth. "At any moment. We need your voice, your choice, always." "Don't stop," Maya whispered. Solara smiled and leaned down, kissing Maya's throat, her collarbone, the hollow between her ribs. Each kiss sent those harmonic waves deeper, pleasure building in frequencies Maya hadn't known she could feel. Kirene worked at the buttons of Maya's shirt with reverent patience, pressing kisses to each new inch of revealed skin. "You're so beautiful," Solara breathed against Maya's stomach. "For years we've dreamed of this." Kirene's hands, warm and sure, mapped the curve of Maya's waist, the line of her hip. "You fit perfectly between us. Like you were made for this. For us." The world outside ceased to exist. There was only touch and breath and the building crescendo of sensation as they learned her body with devoted attention. Time moved strangely here. What might have been minutes stretched like hours, hours compressed to heartbeats. They took turns kissing her breathless, their hands and mouths working in perfect synchrony, building her pleasure higher and higher until Maya shattered, crying out, her voice echoing in the impossible space. The sanctuary responded, colors exploding across every surface, aurora borealis made of pure emotion. She lay gasping between them as they gathered her close, skin against luminescent skin, hearts beating in harmony. Solara pressed a gentle kiss to her temple. Kirene traced idle patterns on her shoulder. That, Maya managed finally, was not human. Kirene laughed, the sound like bells. "No. That was Aerithan. That was how we love, mind, body, and soul resonating together." "Welcome," Solara whispered, "to forever, Maya Torres." And wrapped in their arms, floating in starlight, Maya realized that the door they'd locked hadn't trapped her. It had finally let her in. The claiming ritual Maya woke, or perhaps surfaced was a better word, to find herself still cradled between Kirene and Solara. The sanctuary had dimmed to something like twilight, stars moving lazily across the shimmering walls. She felt different. Changed. Like her atoms had been rearranged into a better configuration. "How long?" she asked softly. "In Earth time?" 3 hours, Kirene answered, fingers tracing gentle circles on Maya's bare shoulder. "In here, time is more flexible." Solara propped herself up on one elbow, violet eyes studying Maya's face with such tenderness it made her chest ache. "There's more, if you're willing. What we've shared is beautiful, but it's not the full bond. Not yet." Maya turned to face her more fully. "Tell me." Kirene sat up, and the constellation marks on her skin began to glow brighter. "The claiming ritual. It's how Aerithans create permanent bonds, not just emotional or physical, but something that transcends both. It links us across any distance, any dimension. You would always know where we are, what we feel, and we would know you the same way. It's irreversible," Solara added seriously. "Once done, we are yours and you are ours. Forever is not a metaphor for our people, it's literal. Our lifespans are much longer than human ones." Maya's breath caught. "How much longer?" "Centuries," Kirene said quietly. "And the bond would extend your life to match ours. You'd be stepping away from human mortality, human time. Your family would age while you remained. Eventually, you'd have to leave Earth entirely or watch everyone you know fade." It should have terrified her. Every logical bone in her body should have been screaming to run. But Maya thought of her parents, already drifting apart. Her friends, already scattering to colleges across the country. The future she'd planned, safe, predictable, lonely in ways she hadn't wanted to admit. Then she looked at Kirene and Solara, these impossible beings who had waited 4 years, who touched her like she was made of starlight and promises. What does the ritual involve? Maya asked. Solara's expression brightened with hope. She reached into the air and pulled out what looked like liquid light contained in a small vial. This is essence of star core, the heart of our bonding magic. Kireen and I will mark you with our true names, written in the old language. The marks will sink into your skin, invisible to others but always present. Then we drink from the same vessel, sharing the star core between us. It will hurt for a moment, Kireen warned. Like fire and ice at once. But then, Maya, you'll understand what it means to be truly known, truly seen, truly loved without barriers. Maya sat up fully, facing them both. Her heart hammered, but her voice was steady. I choose this. I choose you. Both of you. The sanctuary responded to her declaration, colors blooming bright and joyous across every surface. Solara made a small sound of relief and happiness, pulling Maya into a deep kiss that tasted like starlight and salt, with those tears on Solara's cheeks. Kireen pressed against Maya's back, lips at her neck. Then we begin. They positioned Maya between them, her back against Kireen's chest, Solara kneeling before her. Solara uncorked the vial, and the light that spilled out sang in frequencies that made the air vibrate. She dipped one finger into it, and the liquid clung like luminous honey. My true name, Solara whispered, and began to trace symbols across Maya's left collarbone. The sensation was exactly as Kireen had described: burning ice, freezing fire, pain that somehow transmuted into pleasure. Maya gasped, and Kireen held her steady, murmuring comfort against her hair. The symbols glowed brilliant violet before sinking beneath Maya's skin, disappearing but not gone. She could feel them there, humming with Solara's essence. Then Kireen dipped her own finger in the star core. And mine, she breathed, tracing matching symbols on Maya's right collarbone. Silver light, the same exquisite pain pleasure, and then Kireen's name settling into her skin like a second heartbeat. Solara lifted the vial. Now we drink. Me first, then you, then Kireen. The circle completes. She drank, eyes fluttering closed. Passed the vial to Maya, who brought it to her lips with trembling hands. The star core tasted like every perfect moment she'd ever experienced condensed into liquid form. Her grandmother's cookies, summer rain, the first day she'd met Kireen and Solara, the orgasm they'd given her earlier, all of it, everything good, all at once. She passed it to Kireen, who drank the last mouthful. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the world exploded. Maya felt Kireen and Solara flood into her awareness, not invasively, but like opening doors she hadn't known existed. She felt Kireen's fierce protectiveness, the depth of patient love that had sustained 4 years of waiting. She felt Solara's artistic soul, the way she saw beauty in everything, especially in Maya. She felt their desire, their joy, their absolute certainty that this was right, and they felt her, all of her, every secret dream and hidden fear, and loved her anyway, loved her more for knowing her completely. Oh, Maya breathed, tears streaming down her face. Oh, I understand now. They held her as she cried happy tears, as the bond settled into place like puzzle pieces finally finding their configuration. When she finally calmed, Solara kissed her softly. Welcome home, Solara whispered. Kireen turned Maya's face for her own kiss. Welcome to forever. And Maya, marked and claimed and utterly transformed, kissed them back with everything she had, because this was no longer captivity. This was the truest freedom she'd ever known, the freedom to be completely, devastatingly loved. A new definition of freedom. Maya opened her eyes to soft light filtering through the sanctuary walls. She lay tangled between Kireen and Solara, their limbs intertwined like they'd been designed to fit together exactly this way. She felt the bond thrumming between them, could sense Kireen's drowsy contentment, Solara's gentle awareness even in sleep. She also felt something new, a heightened awareness of the world beyond the sanctuary. Through the translucent walls, she sensed Earth continuing without her. The school parking lot, now empty. Her parents' confusion, calls to her cell phone that rang in her abandoned backpack. Her friends already packing for college, assuming she'd simply left early to start her own summer plans. Solara stirred, those violet eyes opening to meet Maya's. Through the bond, Maya felt Solara's question before she spoke it. Are you grieving? Solara asked softly. Maya considered. Was she? She'd left behind everything familiar, her family, her plans, the normal life she'd expected. But when she reached for regret, all she found was peace. No, Maya said wonderingly. I thought I would be, but, no. Kireen woke then, stretching with feline grace. Her hand found Maya's hip, thumb tracing idle patterns. The bond helps, she explained. You feel what we feel, our certainty becomes yours. Not mind control, she added quickly. Your thoughts are your own. But emotions, those we share. Can I still see them? Maya asked. My family. Of course, Solara said, sitting up. The sanctuary exists outside normal space, but we can create doorways anywhere. You can visit whenever you wish. Though. She paused, glancing at Kireen. Though you'll need to be careful, Kireen continued gently. You're no longer entirely human, Maya. You'll age differently now. In 5 years, you'll look the same. In 10, people will notice. Eventually, I'll have to let them go, Maya finished. The thought hurt, but distantly, cushioned by the overwhelming rightness of everything else. She reached out, taking both their hands. Through the bond, she poured her feelings toward them. Gratitude, desire, love so fierce it almost frightened her. They gasped, eyes widening. You can do that. Solara breathed. Apparently. Maya smiled. What else can I do? The next hours, or days, time really was negotiable here. They taught her how to sense the bond, to send emotions and even simple thoughts along it. How to navigate the sanctuary's responsive environment. How to see the way they saw, the world revealed in additional spectrums of light and meaning. And between lessons, they loved her. Slowly, thoroughly, teaching her how Erithans worshipped their chosen ones. Maya learned that Solara loved to be kissed breathless, that Kireen made the most beautiful sounds when touched just right. She learned that 3 could move together in perfect synchronization when the bond guided them, pleasure building and cresting in waves that left all of them gasping. In quiet moments, wrapped in their arms, Maya thought about that final school bell. Everyone else had heard it as permission to scatter, to chase individual dreams across the country. She'd heard it too, had been running toward a freedom that now seemed hollow compared to this. What are you thinking? Kireen murmured against her hair. Maya smiled, pressing back into Kireen's warmth while Solara's head rested on her stomach. That everyone else ran toward freedom, and I ran toward home. I just didn't know it yet. No regrets? Solara asked, her voice carrying a thread of vulnerability that made Maya's heart clench. Not a single one, Maya said firmly. She ran her fingers through Solara's hair, reached back to squeeze Kireen's hand. You locked the doors because you were claiming me. But I think I've been claiming you back for 4 years without realizing it. Every lunch period, every study session, every moment I chose your company, I was choosing this. Through the bond, she felt their love surge in response, overwhelming and perfect. Kireen pressed a kiss to Maya's shoulder, right where her name mark lay hidden. The humans have a saying, if you love something, set it free. Our people have a different philosophy. If you love something, Solara continued, lifting her head to meet Maya's eyes, you hold it close. You protect it. You claim it and let it claim you in return. You build a home in the space between hearts. Maya pulled them both closer, these 2 impossible, beautiful beings who had rewritten her definition of everything. Outside, summer was starting without her. Inside, eternity was just beginning. Teach me more, Maya whispered. Teach me everything. And they did, in the ways that mattered, with touches and words and the bond singing between them like a promise that would never fade. The bell had rung for freedom. But Maya had found something better, a love that transcended boundaries, a home that existed in the space between stars, and 2 souls who would spend forever learning the language of hers. Lessons from When the School Gates Sealed Our Cosmic Fate. True freedom is not the absence of commitment, but the presence of choice made with full heart and open eyes. Love that asks for patience, proves itself through observation, and seeks consent is love that honors rather than imprisons.